Let me be in your crew. I just wanna be free. Be with people like me. I'm so not in the mood to be broken and blue.
Podcasting from the Chicagoland area. This is Game On with Jackson Stuart, where we discuss men's lifestyle, focusing on sex, fitness, relationships, business, and more. We'll be interviewing the best of the best, the hot shots, and the rising stars in the worlds of modeling, fitness, cooking, and more. Influencers who are discussing keeping it sexy while at the top of their game. I'm your host, Jackson Stuart. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the game.
You always searching for a better thing. Wanna replace me? I'm in a place that I've never been. It's worse than lonely. Cause someone tell me they see good in me.
Hey, good people, sexy people, welcome to another episode of Game On with Jackson Stuart. Today we are talking about a game for the holidays. We're in that final stretch of the holidays. We got a big one coming up, Christmas. And then after that, you have New Year's Eve. And, you know, there's no better time of the year that tests true game quite like the holidays. In all honesty, it's this time of the year that should be filled with joy, peace, gratitude, love, kindness, restoration. However, you know, rarely is there a time when nearly all of the planet is in the same frame of mind. You know, like, turn on your TV on, you know, the night of Christmas Eve / Christmas morning, and you're filled with broadcasts from almost all over the world where people celebrate Christmas. And, you know, you can go to the stores, down the streets, anywhere, wherever you live or town over, and you just see decorations, and everybody's kind of in a similar mindset. So the holidays arrive and they put us all in a cohesive community, you know, let's go celebrate. But like we've talked about before, in terms of a man's A game, there are challenges that rise up, and there's conflicts and issues that you got to be your very best to to survive. And it is in each of those obstacles that there's a chance to level up, as we like to say here. There's a chance to end as a better player than you were when you started. And so, that's key. And we're going to talk about some of those obstacles and those challenges. We're going to talk about why they pop up. And then we're also going to discuss solutions, because I like to not just talk about what's wrong, but how do we fix it? And we're going to give you the tool set so that you can have good holidays, and you can also have your A game for the holidays. So let's hit the first challenge that pops up, and this is a good one. Overspending. Yes, we all know about that a lot, especially now where it seems like everything costs, you know, so much more. And so the challenge is you're hemorrhaging money. Every time you blink, you've spent more money every day. And it happens to the best of us. You know, I mean, I think the only people that don't spend money are probably the dead. And so why is it this time of the year? Does it seem like we're just, you know, bleeding cash everywhere we go? And it's easy to think, well, it's because, you know, Jack, that's a dumbass question. It's because we're Christmas shopping. But that's not always, that's not the real reason. I mean, it's an action that's easy to say. Well, you know, I had $100. I went to the store, bought a Christmas gift, and now I came back with 25 cents. But the actual cause of it is pure emotion. We are spending a lot around the holidays because of emotion. We feel that, you know, that's how we show how much we care about people, how much we love our friends, our children, our family, our spouses, our lovers, whatever, well, she's not going to feel good because I didn't get her a big enough gift. I mean, we're so obsessed with it. It's like the box size, like the actual physical size of a gift seems to make us feel like this is how much I love you. Unless it's small and it's got a diamond in it. But even then, we're worried about the size of the diamond or the size of the jewelry and it is this emotion of, I mean, it's a series of emotions, but it's self-esteem, it's self-worth, it's fear. What if they don't like it? What if they feel like I don't love them enough because it's not, I mean, and it's just this storm of negative emotion and negative self-talk and that drives us to spend so much. So what are the solutions for this? Well, one solution is only carry cash and only deal in cash. If you got to leave your credit cards at home, go ahead and do it. But when you use cash, you tend to think more about each purchase because what you got is what you got. Keep emotions out of your wallet. If you're about to buy a gift, check your self-talk. If you're sitting there like, oh man, this just isn't enough, stop right there and really analyze what you're feeling and what you're saying to yourself. Buy people what they say. And what I mean by that is, I've known guys who are like, well, she said she only wanted, and I know sometimes this is, is that, man, I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. This is that girl trick, that woman trick where, well, you should have known what I really meant. Well, you shouldn't be dealing with people who act like that anyway. If she says she wants X and you go to buy X and you're like, oh, that's not enough. I need to buy more. Get her what she wants. And if she's like, well, I thought you were going to get me something else, I say, well, damn it, that's what you told me, so that's what I got you. I can't read your mind. Don't do that. So give people what they want and, forgive yourself if you've gone overboard. We're in a crazy time still. Now, and on top of that, already crazy time, but we're in the holidays. So you're going to make some mistakes. Do better. Get over it. Move on. Because if you don't forgive yourself, now you're adding guilt on top of all the other negativity driving you to spend too much. And at the risk of sounding like cliched as hell, realize that time spent is better than money spent. What I mean by that is, you'll see this if you have older people in your lives, like older parents or aunts, uncles, grandparents, whatever. You can buy them shit and they'll be cool with it. But go over to their house or wherever they live and hang out with them for an hour, have a cup of coffee and just listen to them or talk and laugh with them or whatever. Compare the responses that they give you from just a gift versus time. And I can guarantee you're going to see a difference, a dramatic difference that will show you that time spent is better than money spent. Why is that? Because I can buy you a gift and you never see me again and, you just got some cold electronic that'll, will make you feel happy for 5 minutes. But when you give time, you give of yourself. And time's that one thing that I don't care how much money you make or how much money you don't make. None of us can get more of it than what we got. Next challenge is overplanning. Ooh, yeah, guilty of that. The challenge, your calendar, your calendar looks like a murder scene because it's got red all over it. And each red is, some appointment that's scribbled in and where you got to go and what you got to do and what has to happen and who it has to happen with. And what this leads you to do is spread yourself too thin. You're all over the place. And the problem with spreading yourself too thin is that leads to, and we're going to talk in a little bit about that, stress, a breakdown of your immune system, a lack of enjoyment, and done too much, you start to have negative association with the holidays. And we all know people like this, right? As soon as it hits like October, they're like, oh my God, the damn holidays are coming up. Ugh. And it's just, and like they have so often, so much just been beaten up by the holidays. And a lot of that beating was self-inflicted. A lot of those wounds are of their own making because they've over-planned themselves. So why do we do this? Why do we overplan? Well, once again, it's emotions. We have this expectation built in of ourselves of what is that person going to think? What are they going to think if we don't show up? If we don't schedule this trip with the family? If we don't do this, we don't do that. If we don't make that work Christmas party, we're so wrapped up in what ifs. And I'll tell you guys a cold fact: a lot of people give a rat's ass if you show up or not. Like, stop thinking that everything's revolving around you. And I don't mean that as a jab. It's just, you got to get off the hamster wheel, man. You got to. So what's a solution? Prioritize. Like, I got 7 days in a week. There's 6 events I'm invited to, or, 4 I'm invited to, 2 I have to plan. Of these 6, I'm only going to make 2. What are the top 2 I have to make? And the other ones, you just tell people, hey, I got a timing conflict. I'm really sorry. Maybe we can get together after the holidays, et cetera, et cetera. But evaluate what's important and what's not. And don't get up on the cross if you can't make something. Like I said, we only got the amount of time that we got. So relax. And if people get all pissed off at you because you can't make this Christmas party or this New Year's Eve party or this Hanukkah celebration or whatever it is, then you know what? They don't really know your ass anyway. And if they know you and they know that you really, prioritize well and you do things they feel are important and you can't make X and they, jam you up about it, then screw them, move on. It's just that easy. You got to take care of you during the holidays. And too many people put themselves dead last and they fry themselves out. Next challenge, overthinking. And this is pretty similar to overplanning. The challenge is your head is like a zoo. It's just crazy. It's just crazy monkeys up and they run around all day. And the questions you ask yourself, do I buy this? Do I buy that? Do I go here? Do I have to be there? Did you say enough? Did you say the right thing to somebody? Did you spend enough? Did you go enough for people? And it's just every action you take, you have 10 questions afterwards about of self-doubt. Or every action you're going to take, you have 10 questions before of, is this the right thing? And the problem with that, or the cause of that, once again, it's emotions. You're doubting yourself. You're doubting yourself because there's a lack of self-worth. You don't feel good about your ability to make decisions. You don't feel good about your ability to, make judgment calls. And here's some solutions. Number one, you got to fall back on your successes. This is probably not your first Christmas. If it is, then you're 1 year old and you should not be listening to the show anyway. But I mean, you've navigated tough waters, and outside of the holidays, you've navigated tough waters, whether it be at work, whether it be relationships, something physical, etc. You've gotten yourself this far. Right. No man is an island. No woman is an island. But, you had something to do with your successes. Revisit that and reinvigorate your ability to trust yourself. Second part of a solution, or second solution, I should say, listen to your gut. There's a reason why your gut, they say gut instincts, and that's a damn true statement. So if you got to make a decision, listen to your gut. What's your gut say? Boom, go with it. If you made a decision, listen to your gut and move on. Even if it's a mistake, move on. Nobody's got a time machine that I know of, and you can't unring the bell. So if you fuck up, oops, sorry. I mean, legitimately, sincerely, oops, sorry, and try to do it again. But don't sit there and just, whomp on yourself all day, all night about it. Also, with overthinking, avoid negative input such as too much news, too much time spent around energy vampires, etc. Me personally, 5 minutes of the news in the morning, just so I can hear what went down, and then the weather and sports, and that's it. Because you'll see very often, and trust me, I'm not knocking the media. I've been part of the media. I love our ability to communicate and to inform people in like the click of a button. But I also know that the media. And this isn't, we're not talking liberal media, conservative media. We're not talking, we're just talking news, newspapers, etc. Internet news sources. You get beaten with the same information 24 hours a day. And if it's negative, that will stick in your psyche and it will run in the background in your head all day. So much to the point that you will believe that what you heard this morning about something terrible has happened all day long and in multiple places. And not to at all belittle a tragedy, but if you soak it in all day long, it magnifies in you much more than it was when you just heard about it in the morning. So cut out on too much news. And also, that includes too much negative news and social media. And once again, I'm not knocking social media. I love social media. I mean, hell, I'm on it. But, there is you can see a lot of negative personal stories, and you might see, somebody lost somebody has an illness, etc. You read about it, you can comment. If you know the person, reach out, offer, whatever support you feel you can provide, and then walk away from it. Don't sit there and read all 900 comments and then come back an hour later to read whatever comments you missed. Because honestly, and here's the question you got to ask yourself about overthinking and feeding yourself negativity. It's a simple question. What is reading this comment? What is rereading this negativity? What is this overthinking? What good is it going to do? So if you made a decision and now you're worrying about it, what good is this worry going to do? Nothing. If you have to make a decision and you've weighed all the options and you've come to a conclusion, what good is worrying about making the decision going to do? Nothing. So think about that. And energy vampires, sometimes they're people you love to death, but every time you talk to them, they're fucking negative. And it's, this is too pricey, or, did you hear about so-and-so, whatever. Nope, you can't be around them too much because you don't have the internal resources to put up with that shit all day. You call them, you're checking on them, much like I just said with the news, 5 minutes. You talk to them, you're checking on them, and then poof, you got to get out of that situation. Because, they mean the best in the world, but they are going to suck you dry. And when you walk away or drive away, you're going to feel it. And it's going to wreck your A game. Next big challenge, overeating. Oh yeah. Who of us has not done that around this time of the year? It starts with November. No, actually, scratch that. It starts with October. All that damn Halloween candy. Then it slides right into Thanksgiving, right? And then it slips and slides right into Christmas, and then we're going to drink ourselves into a fucking coma on New Year's Eve. So the challenge is that you're shoveling down cookies and sweets and treats and stuff like there's no tomorrow. And then you wash them down with high calorie booze, right? It's the martinis, it's the hard liquor, it's the beer. It's a bad combo. And why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we face this overeating challenge? Because it's damn delicious. And there's so much variety around the holidays of just treats and meals that who wouldn't want to eat it all? The shit's good. I mean, it's an easy answer. The solution, which may surprise you, is not to abstain and deprive yourself, but it's to try a little bit of all of it. Because here's the thing, you go to a party, and it's a holiday party, and there's that table, right? It's a table of it's usually a bunch of red and green stuff. And it's not the decorations, but it's just, the jellos and more jellos and sweet. Anyway, it's just a table full of all kind of stuff you want to eat. And so the problem is that if you say, I'm not going to touch any of that, you're going to break or you're going to be miserable at the party because you want some of this good shit at the table. The other problem is you get a plate and you just, we've all been there. It's that plate that you can't carry right? So you're worried about dropping it because you've got like roast beef here and chicken there, and then you've got, cookies over here, and it's just this mass of just holiday just sugar and calories and fats and stuff, and you just gorge yourself, and you feel like hell, and then you're like, oh, why did I do this? But if you get a plate and you're like, all right, there's 10 things on this table that look amazing, I'm gonna get a little bit of each, and sit your happy ass down and eat it, you'll be surprised that you have satiated and fulfilled that desire to eat this stuff with just a little bit of everything. So sampling allows you to enjoy and avoid heavy indulgence. Another part of the solution, give yourself a damn break and enjoy a little shit. You could be dead tomorrow. Not to be negative, but I mean, hey, nobody knows. Life is short, right? It's okay to eat one more cookie at a party than you normally would, or maybe two more, but just, it's okay. Because if you start beating yourself up, then negativity and a negative self-talk is just going to lead you to eat more shit to feel better. So just give yourself a break. And also remind yourself, once again, fall back on your previous successes to do, to launch yourself, to catapult yourself into a better mindset. Is that if you've been doing your part of staying healthy, eating good for the rest of the year, exercise and stuff, a few days of caloric wildness is not going to kill you. It's not going to break you. So that's why, and I guarantee you, if you're kind of a healthy person, you eat well, you exercise, I bet if you were to weigh yourself before like Thanksgiving and then like 2 days after Thanksgiving, you'll be like, oh shit, I still weigh the same. Yeah, because your body can take a little bit of, extra extra butter cookies and cake and pie and turkey and ham and stuff for a day or two. And then you're going to be like, oh wow, like, it wasn't all that, oh my God, I'm fat. Oh my God, I've let myself go. In 2 days, the body doesn't work quite like that. So, enjoy. Last but not least, overstressing. Ain't that the challenge, right? It's just all too much. And your head is about to explode. The demands to do this, to do that, be here, be there, buy this, all that can drag you down and then spin you up, stress you out completely. Plus, on top of it, add the lack of sunlight that most of us are going through because of just where we live and the time of the year. So that means less vitamin D. Obviously not a doctor, not a psychiatrist. You should always have, those type of medical professionals in your gallery of self-care. But it is known that a lack of vitamin D can lead to, seasonal affected disorders. I believe I got that right. SAD. People feel down. People feel irritable. You wake up, it's dark. You go to work or telework, whatever. You walk outside your house, it's dark again. It's like shit, or it's gray all day. It's real. It's not bullshit. It's not in your head. It can seriously affect people. On top of less sunlight, we're still in a pandemic that sometimes feels like it's never going to end, and all the stressors that come with the pandemic. Then there's just this general feel. I was talking to a buddy the other day. This general feel of just negativity, like, oh man, is the world getting worse? I don't believe it is. I'm not turning a blind eye to tragedy and hardships in the world, but we're all still here, and there's still a lot of. Well, I'll jump in a second. So there's a feeling of negativity, and there's an overall exhaustion, and you are overstressing. You're feeling it, whether you know it or not. It's getting to you. Why? Every damn thing I just said. It's tough, man. It's tough, and you're in it. This time of the year is notorious for putting people in terrible moods and brutal headspace. And it's so terribly ironic that this is the time of the year when it's supposed to be the best time. It's the most wonderful time of the year, like the song says. So, what is a solution? What are these solutions? Geez, take it easy. Like, let's start with that. And maybe I'm talking to myself because I'm guilty of all of these. Trust me. Take it easy. Prioritize issues by writing them down and getting a real feel for what's going on. If you feel like today's a shitty day, write down why. Like, what are the things that are going to make today shitty? Like things, like actual events or happenings or things in the day or things in your life. And look at the list, and you're going to realize that a lot of it's just how you feel. You might only have two things that you're not looking forward to, and that can help you kind of frame things, put things in a logical perspective. Talk to somebody. Geez, we're all, and I'm guilty of this. I tend to keep a lot in. I play my emotions close to the vest, and I know, and guilty. And I've got very, very important people that I care about greatly who just tell me, like, Jack, what the fuck? You need to open up. But talk to somebody, whether it be a friend, clergy, a doctor, a mental health professional. Don't keep stuff in, because it's that one, when you feel isolated, you're not really alone. The negative shit in your head is still with you, and that stuff will just spin around and literally feast on you. Two, when you talk to people, it makes you feel good, because one, it lets you know somebody cares. It lets you know you're not as isolated as you feel, but you are doing an action to release some of that negativity that's inside of you, some of that stress that you've been building up because you think you're one of the three wise men trying to get to baby Jesus. Like, you get some of that stuff out. Another solution: practice self-care every day. I remember speaking once with somebody in the medical field, and they told me that people really don't even do three things for themselves every day. And it's such an ironic statement, because we feel like everybody's all self-involved and vapid, but honestly, most people don't take care of themselves. And three things, we're not talking like, did you eat? Did you go to the bathroom? It's biological shit you got to do. Did you go for a walk today? Did you exercise for you? Not because you're staring down the barrel of diabetes or something, which, obviously that's part of a routine. But did you exercise to the point that you did it so you can enjoy it and feel good? Read a book, see a movie, just something that will make you feel good for you and that you're doing for yourself. It's a good idea to treat yourself in a stressful situation as if you were your best friend. What would you do for your best friend when they call you stressed out? You listen to them, you give them suggestions, and if you need to, you help take care of them. Well, do it for yourself. Volunteering, especially around this time of the year, can help you with stress. Because volunteering, if you've never done it, I highly recommend it, really puts everything in perspective in terms of like life. Because most of the time you're volunteering to help out people who are in a seriously, seriously difficult situation. Whether it be a soup kitchen, whether it be a clothing drive, whether it be a blood drive, just volunteer and really stop and think about what you're doing. Just don't add it to another list of just shit you're going to, like mechanized and like a robot doing it. Let's say you go and give blood, before you go Christmas shopping or, you go to church, whatever, stop and think. You are tapping your body and its life fluid so that this can go to somebody who is in a life or death situation. That's not hyperbole. People about to go into surgery, people who are victims of an accident. Somebody is bleeding to death, and they're going to put your donated blood into this person to help them live. You have saved someone's life. So think about that. If you volunteer at a hospital, I know COVID is a thing, definitely, but physical volunteering efforts are different and altered right now. But no matter what, just stop and think. Don't move so fast that you can't appreciate the moment and what it means. Last but not least, reassociate yourself with the simple but meaningful purposes of the season. Whatever your belief is, whatever this time of the year means to you, get back to it. Don't get caught up in how much you got to spend and Christmas lists. That stuff can be fun, but get back to why, Get back to friendships, to family, to love. I mean, get back to all that stuff because I tell you, the stuff you buy somebody for Christmas, I guarantee that shit won't be here in 5 years. If it's electronics, it's going to break, it's going to get outdated. If it's clothing, it's going to tear, it's going to wear out, whatever. Just get back to that. Get back to the bonds, get back to your faith, get back to the things that make this year important for you. And that will help with the overstressing. Also, and this is like one more little note, the whole the whole resolution thing, I'm not a big fan of it. If you want to make a change, say it right now. I want to do this better and just start. Don't wait for some ball to drop or a horn to blow or that kind of stuff. I mean, that's fun and it's ceremonial, but change can start right now. So don't wait for 2022 to say you're going to be a better you. You're going to raise your game level. And also on the flip side, don't beat your ass up if if you fail at something that you want to do better. Once again, forgive yourself, pick yourself up, try it again. So this is more than likely going to be the last show of 2021. I'll have a couple of encore shows running over the next 2 Fridays. Wow. I think it's 2 Fridays before 2022. That is nuts. I really, really sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank you guys for an awesome year of the show. Both you guys that listen, you guys that subscribe, and the guests who have just been phenomenal in every aspect of the game. Thank you guys so much. You really do make it worthwhile. And if you enjoy the show, reach out, let me know. You can drop me a comment via Podbean. But if the show's helped you level up in some degree, let me know. I'd love to know that. I will see you all next year. And jump back and catch many of the encore shows. gameonwithjack.com. You can catch some of the player guides and the erotic literature on patreon.com/gameonwithjack. Follow me on Twitter @gameonwithjack and follow me on Instagram @Jackson Stuart 2. You guys are amazing. I wish you all the very best holidays, whatever and in whichever way you celebrate it. Celebrate it with people you love. And we will see you all next year. Keep it sexy. Game on. What if you could be a better player for the cost of one more cup of coffee a month? Get access to a growing library of lit erotica, behind-the-scenes action, and player's guides with tips on drinking, cooking, fitness, dating, sex, and life after dark. Low tier rate while offer lasts. Patreon.com, Game On with Jack. Keep it sexy and game on.